our live Zoom this evening. We do not have Zoom going on this evening. Get us a little bit of music as we are allowing individuals to come into this live session. It is an amazing day. I am just running in, literally running in from working and seeing family and running around all day long. I happen to be able to help 3 lovely individuals on today, which was awesome, in between picking up my beautiful sister who decided to come on back home. And yeah, it's been an eventful day, and it's amazing how much we can get done when we put our minds to it, right? It is amazing what we can get done. So guys, good evening, good evening, good evening. I see you all jumping in on this line. I am excited to be here. I'm telling you, I was flying down Route 51 to get here for you guys on today. All right, now, I know you guys have seen the topics. We are talking about the emotional cycle in business, the Shut Up, Stop Whining, and Get a Life from Larry Wingart. It's a book that I have read years ago, and I am reintroducing it back into my life, right? Because when we learn and we grow and we get to another level, it is important to go back to a lot of these very important books, because there's other things that I can learn now that's going to take me to my next level. So that is why I always revisit certain books. All right. And then the last thing is, it's not easy, but it's worth it. There is another topic that I'm going to add to this evening, and it is about leads. As you guys know, every week I end up talking to an agent or 2 or 3 or 4 or another one of my students through the Life Now University, of course, 0 to 6 figures. And while I'm talking and doing the one-on-one consultations, it helps me to remember certain things that we need to bring up during these sessions so that you guys can learn as well. Because if one person is having an issue, then there's going to be more individuals that are having the same issue or the same question. And that is also why I really appreciate when you guys post on the platform while we're doing the live, as well as your comments that you're putting in through the university, because we all can learn and grow at the same time. All right. So what's going on? I see Gary Raheem. What's up, babe? He's on the road. Safe travels. And everybody else that's on the road while you're chiming in. Lizette, good evening. Michelle, what's up, lady? Elisa, hey, girl. Monica, I see you on here. And of course, everyone that is on my YouTube, I cannot see you unless you post a comment. So feel free to post a comment. It's not mandatory. But if you want me to see who's on here, feel free. All right. So it is 4 minutes after the hour. And we, as you guys know, we are going to jump right in. We have a good bit of information. I had my sister reading to me in this last hour and a half of us driving back into Pittsburgh, where I live. And it was hilarious because as she was reading, she can I share, Tanya? Okay, so while she was reading some of the information, she was like, "Is this for me?" She's like, "Is this for me?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about? Is it for you?" She's like, "This is like what I did, isn't it?" And I said, "Okay." So I had to back up and tell her, you know, I'm having you read this information to have it fresh in my mind for my training this evening. But yes, it is for you. It's for me, and it's for everyone else that is having those issues. And we're going to talk about those things in just a minute. But it's fun when you are reading and you are looking for information and you are training and researching for others, how whenever you're going through that, sometimes you can identify that with yourself and it helps you too. So I always say that even though I am the instructor and I am training, I am learning at the same time. I am always learning. And this is one of the reasons why I enjoy doing this so much. So jumping into the attitude emotional cycle. This is definitely and has been something that has been posted within our university. It has also been posted on the Facebook group, and it has also been posted within our group me's for the life insurance agents that work with me. And if you have the copy of it, that would be great, so you can follow along. But I am going to go through each one in detail. I know we talked about this before, and it was pretty much a high level. I had seen a couple of the students just posted a comment 2 days ago that where they were in this 7 stage of the emotional cycle. So just getting started, the first stage, and I'm sure a lot of you guys can identify with this. And hey, Eric, hey, Nicole, I see you guys posting on the YouTube. Good to see you guys on here as well. The first stage is excitement, right? Everybody is excited when they first start a business or they're coming into a new opportunity. They're excited. It is the opportunity. It's, the income opportunity is unlimited, right? You're just like, oh my God, I can have so much, I can do so much. You're just thinking about your dreams and your goals and what you're going to do. And when you sell these 5 apps, how much money you're going to make, or when you sell these 5, t-shirts, how much money you're going to make, and what your clients are going to say and who they're going to refer and how many people. You're just thinking about how this is going to work for you, right? So you're excited. You finish your test if you have to be certified. You get everything done. You're excited about that. You're excited about passing. There's all these different steps that you have to take before you can become a business owner or work in certain opportunities, and you've achieved it. And so you're excited and you're ready to go, right? You're excited to share this information with your friends and your family. You are ready to go. You know that in the beginning, when you first started, you were telling other people that, hey, I'm going to be doing this business X, Y, and Z. And they're like, oh yeah, well, let me know whenever you get your license. Let me know whenever you get that set up. I'm going to be one of your customers, right? And then we jump into stage number 2, which is your frustration, because you find out that those individuals that said that they had your back, and those people that said that, oh yes, we're definitely going to be here with you and we're going to do X, Y, and Z, they don't, right? They tell you they're going to call you back. They tell you, oh, today's not a good day. You know what? I'm going to get back to you. And now you're seeing that they were just kind of making you feel good, trying to be excited with you, but not really with you. Some may not want you to know their business, and they don't really know what all is involved in you presenting to them what they need to disclose to you. There's a lot of things that go into why an individual will change their mind as far as allowing you to help them with whatever service that you have. And so frustration starts to come in. The different obstacles that you encounter with the business. You are traveling and you don't have any money because maybe you didn't have a savings account when you came into the business, right? Maybe, I don't know, you were broken like a lot of people when they start in anything, and you expected that your friends and your family members, or those that said that they were going to help you, were going to do it. And so you already had in your mind how much money you were going to start with, and that has not happened, right? We're moving into 3. Now you're shocked, right? You're a week, 2 weeks in this thing. You may even be 3 weeks in, and you thought because of your excitement, you thought because of your so-called support system that you were going to have X, Y, and Z already set up, that was going to give you the money that you needed, that was going to allot you the time to really sit down and dig into your business a little more and study a little more, right? And that didn't happen. So now you're out here and you are literally trying to make something happen with little knowledge because you expected one thing and that didn't happen, right? Running with that excitement, running with what you thought, what people told you. Then you became, your frustration. Now you're in sheer shock. Oh my God. What am I doing? Why am I here? What made me think that I can do this? This is crazy. Why am I driving all over the world, knocking on doors, talking to people that don't want me there anyway, right? These leads, if you're in insurance, these leads don't work. This area is a bad area. It's all of these other things outside of what you should have or could have done better and you didn't, right? You're shocked. They told me it was going to be easy. I see all these people making money. Why can't I make any money? It's been a week. It's been 2 weeks. I've talked and knocked on 20 doors. What is going on? The shock sets in. We're going to go ahead and move down into 4. Now we're in the denial stage. The denial is pretty tricky, right? You're in that phase of, why am I on these calls? Why am I in this training course? Do I really need it? This isn't really working. Maybe this isn't for me. You know, I don't know why they said that this would be a good fit for me. This really isn't. I don't like sales anyway, right? You start putting in all this negative talk to yourself. The procrastination kicks back in. Because again, when you're excited, you're doing everything. You're ready to go. You're running on a high. But now you're into this denial stage, and it's, let me slow down, and you're second guessing your decision, right? You're forgetting about the fact that God told you that this is where you needed to be, and this is what you were supposed to do, because you thought it was going to be easy. You thought everything was just gonna go for you, right? And so now we're in this denial. We're over here looking at, maybe we should do this job on the side so we can get a little bit of extra money to help with this business. And now we're being pulled from one direction to the other, right? And it's just constant denial all the way around. It's all negative. It's all of this extra talk, all this extra activity that is not an income producing activity. It's, I need to get this money, instead of I need to learn my job so that I can be effective when I am in front of the person that needs me, right? What is that saying about chopping down a tree? I heard it just the other day. You know, you have the one person that is going to sit there and spend hours and hours and hours with that axe, and they're just chopping and chopping and chopping and chopping and chopping at this tree. And then you have that other individual that is very smart, and they're going to spend like the 10 hours sharpening the axe, and then the 2 hours cutting it down, because now they don't have to use as much force. So it's very important for us to study and know our business so that we can be prepared when it's time to rock and roll. That was a little side note. Now we're in stage 5. And 5 is going to be our fear. Fear. We're always talking about faith and fear. Stage 5 is fear. It's becoming harder and harder for you to get up in the mornings, to get out of your bed, and to go and knock on the doors. It's becoming more difficult and challenging because now that fear has set in. Is this person going to scream at me like the last person did? It's going to be another, I'm not interested, or why are you here? Or you're not supposed to be here. I didn't fill that out. All of these other things. That design isn't what I said I wanted, right? Depending on where you are and what business you have. That sandwich doesn't taste like I thought it was going to taste, right? That's not as hot as I expected it. This meat is supposed to be fresh, whatever. The fear is setting in because now you've had some of these objections that you kind of knew were coming, but you didn't really expect to react to it the way that you are, right? So that fear is kicking in. And now it's like, oh my God, kind of like that shock. Now we have all these stages. We have 4 stages that are not excited. The first one was very excited. Second one was frustrated. Third one is you're in shock. Fourth one is you're in denial. Fifth one is fear. I can't do this. I flat out can't. This isn't for me. I don't know what I was thinking. Fear. You're blaming everything and everyone. Fear. 6, you're derailed. All right. In stage 5, you were moving into the derailment where you were trying to find other businesses or something else you can do to make some extra money. Now 6, you're completely derailed. You're not on the conference calls. You're not talking to your upline. You're not talking to your manager. You're not talking to other team members within the business, within whatever business you're in. You're not connected because maybe you feel like you're not worthy. You haven't made a sale, or you did, but it's not as many as you thought. You feel as though, why would somebody want to talk to you and you're not producing, right? You're starting to feel like a failure. So you're pulling back from everyone. You're getting off track, completely off track. You start thinking, you know what, I didn't want to be in my own business anyway. The only reason why I did this is because I love that car that X, Y, and Z was driving. You know, they're the ones that told me that this would be great for me and I needed it. I didn't need this. I didn't want this. All of these things that we're putting into our minds is taking us further off of our track, right? And then you even think about that job that you were complaining about nonstop. I'm gonna take some water. You're gonna think about that job that at one point you couldn't stand. You hated the managers, you hated the people there, you couldn't stand the hours, right? It was the worst place in the world. You knew that you were supposed to be somewhere else and that you were supposed to be making so much more and that your gifts were not being utilized at that position, at that job. But now, because you've gone through this little bit of a cycle, you're thinking again, oh, maybe that job wasn't that bad. You know, maybe I could go somewhere else and get a different job. Right? You're starting to look at your resume again. You're starting to revamp a few things to see, well, maybe if you move this around and that around, you'll be able to land a better job where you'll have a better manager and better team members, and you're going to enjoy it better. Just maybe you've learned a little bit since you've been out of the workforce and now you're ready to go back in, right? You're derailed. At this point, you're either going to become angry or you're going to recommit. And sometimes you have to become angry to recommit, right? And sometimes you become angry and you quit. So now we're at that little crossroads with that anger. Now that anger, you could allow that anger to feed everything inside of you that you know is right, that you know that you are able to do this business. You know that you are supposed to be successful. You know that it is a matter of you taking the time away from the TV, away from the social medias, away from whatever it is that you are allowing to take your study time away. And you need to get back in front of your computer and learn your process. If you're in life insurance, what does it take to be buried? What does it take to do a cremation? What are the steps, right? These are things that if you're in this business, you have to do your part and use Google and search what are the steps in a burial? What is the funeral home going to require, right? What are the costs? Those are in our materials within our company, but you can definitely go to Google in your area and look at how much does it cost for a burial and a cremation and what is required from the family. It is free information online. You need to understand that. So that way, when you're in front of a client and they're telling you that they have X, Y, and Z, well, you still need X, Y, and Z more, right? You still are not 100% covered. Nobody is 100% covered. It doesn't matter if they did a pre-need or not. There's always additional cash items that are necessary at that time of death. And nobody really knows what all that's going to be until the time comes. But understanding what is involved is going to help you to be able to present your product. If you've never experienced a funeral or a cremation, you know through that process, you don't know. And you need to understand that. So you need to learn it. And you have to put the time in to do so. All right. So get angry with yourself and admit and recognize your feelings that you alone are responsible. You are responsible for every single stage of these emotions that you're going through. Because again, it all starts with your mind, what you're thinking about, what you expected, what you thought, how things are going, who you're blaming, what you think about the leads, you think about your manager, you think about your upline, you think about your girlfriend or your boyfriend, right? It's all about what's starting here. And instead of identifying and understanding that you need to learn, you need to become an expert real quick. And it does not take that long, but it does take some time for you to do the research. Learn your business. because there's millions and millions of dollars still out here for us. I'm going to say us to receive. All right. It's out here for us. We are in the right place at the right time. But you have to make sure that you are the right person and make sure that you are prepared for the blessings because they're there for you. All right. So get angry with yourself and recommit. Recommit, because if you get angry and you decide that the anger is for the leads, it's for the manager, it's for the management company, it's for, you know, whoever you decide to put the blame on, and you quit, you quit. Game over, right? You may be able to come back to another company or whatever the case may be, but guess what? You got to start all over again. I mean, all over again. And depending on what business you're in, it's going to depend on what that means for you. If you're going to start at a lower contract or you have to put in more money to start, it's worse than just identifying what it is that you need to do. And you already know what that is. You do. And do it. And recommit. Recommit. Tell yourself it is not like me to give up. It is not, this is not even me. It's not like me to sit over here and start complaining and whining and wanting to be fussing about this and that and the third, and this person said this and that person. It's not, this is not even me. And if it is you, I don't want to be this person anymore. I understand that it is time for me to change. It is time for me to grow up, just like the book that I've been reading. Shut up, right? Stop whining and get a life. And so we're going to transition right into this book. And there's a few things that I've highlighted. Well, my sister highlighted. Some were already highlighted, but she highlighted for me as we were coming down the road. But I'm going to park it real quick, and I am going to allow you guys, if there's anything that you want to post, if there's any questions that you have right now that you want to put in. Thank you, Eric. I love the music too. I decided we put a little bit of something in the background, right? Raheem says fuel. All right, Raheem. Monica put, it took me 10 days for my first sale. 10 days. And Monica is doing amazing right now. She is finding herself, finding her groove. And it's no different in the leads, no different in her area. She is different. She is learning her business, and she is going out there consistently and helping others with that beautiful smile. You know, I love your smile, Monica. Adrienne, good to see you. I see you popped in here. What's up, Gabe? I see a few folk on here that just jumped on here. A different Lisa. Any questions, any comments before I jump into this book? Stop whining. Well, shut up. Stop whining and get a life. And it is a, yeah. Sorry, I got the music stopped while I'm pulling this up. But this book is from Larry Wingert. I will post it. I will post it in the Facebook group as far as the book, what it looks like, the one that I'm reading from. CJ said, is your friend still joining in Atlanta to help me? She's still in Atlanta, and she's still studying, CJ. So yeah, she will be there as soon as she completes her test. So her goal is within the next month. She is still working full time, but yeah, she's still coming. She was just up here with me 2 weeks ago. And again, this is Larry Wingart. I am not about to give you the whole story about his background or anything like that, because we just don't have time for that. Kevin, I'm a brand new agent in CT. Haven't watched all your videos, so I'm sure you've addressed this, but any words of wisdom or encouragement? I just got done calling 30 leads and didn't set any appointments. Good job. Good job. I mean, seriously, good job. You got on the phone, you tried to set appointments, and nothing happened. That's part of the business. It's part of the business. And even if the person had told you that they are not interested, or, you know, whatever they said other than setting the appointment, go door knock them anyway. What you want to do is you want to make sure that you have a copy of the lead letter. All right. If your company, if you are with Lincoln Heritage, I don't know who you're with, but with my company, at the bottom left-hand corner is the lead number, and you can call Lincoln and get a copy of the letter that your leads have received. And you can, right at the door, when you go to the door, you can let them know this is what you'd filled out, and I'm here with this information for you and another loved one. But yes, Kevin, that is in the video we just did last week. We talked about that. I have tons of videos on the leads, and just door knock them anyway. Do not be discouraged. This is part of the business. Sometimes you'll set appointments, sometimes you won't. I'm not sure what script you're using, but as long as you have confidence and you know what, you've practiced your script. So when you're on the phone with them, you're not giving too much space, right? Like, you're not saying, Kevin, hi, this is Christine from Lincoln Heritage. Pause, giving them time to jump in. You want to be like, hey, Kevin, hey, this is Christine from Lincoln Heritage. I'm giving you a call tonight because I received your card in the mail requesting information about our final expense program. Was this just for you or for you and another loved one? Notice how I'm going straight through that. And then I'm asking the question, was it for you or you and another loved one? I'm not asking, do you remember doing this? I don't remember what I had on 2 days ago. And that's for real, right? Okay, good. I'm glad you're with Lincoln. So you can receive any of those lead letters. They will email it directly to you. I laminate mine. This just happens to be a new lead batch that I just printed off the letter, so I didn't laminate it yet. But hope that helped you. So jumping into Larry Wingard, I'm going to read for you the chapters. I am not sponsored by this guy. He has no idea that I'm even talking about his book on here, but I believe that every single one of us should own a copy. Again, I talked about this last week where a couple years ago, my husband, Raheem, had put me on to Amazon Prime. And whenever you pay the monthly fee, one, you get your products the next day or within 2 days for free. But the second benefit of that is that you get points. And those points every single month you could use towards audiobooks or any kind of online book, right? And that is amazing. So you can literally save thousands of dollars on these educational books, and you can write off your yearly fee for Amazon because you are utilizing that to grow your knowledge in your business. So if you didn't know that, now you know. You can use that for a tax write-off. All right, education. So some of the topics in this book: shut up, stop whining, and get a life. It is a kick butt approach to basically getting your life right. The first chapter is shut up, right? It's shut up. Second is stop whining. The third, I know you know what it is, and get a life, right? So those are the first 3 chapters, and I'm going to go through. I'm not going to read those to you this evening at all, but I am going to read a few highlights throughout those first 3 chapters. But listen to the other chapters that's in this book. How to live by design, not by default. Slaughtering the sacred self-help cows. Sounds interesting, right? It is. I'll probably add some into next week's lesson as well. Your beliefs determine your outcome. The enjoyment factor. Fitness, fatness, and more. Probably can join that in Gabe's his podcast, Fitness, Fatness, and More, right? Everyone screws up. Everyone screws up, guys. Religion versus spirituality. Whose side is God on? That's an interesting. Get smarter. Stress. Who needs it? Learn to relax. Money rules. Relationship, friendship, marriage, and other calamities. Kids are a pain in the butt. Yes, they are. Lord, I want to shake mine up today. No, I'm kidding. Sex, you got to love it. Love is the key. Criticism happens. The more you give, the more you get. Sometimes work is just plain work. You are out of time. Success is a balancing act. Give up hope. Guilt serves no purpose. Worry is a waste of time. Selfishness is a good thing. A deal is a deal. Hard lessons to learn. The test for success, and a final thought. Now, I don't know about you, but those are some powerful chapters. And I do know, because I've gone through this book, and I am excited to be going through this again now that I am on a different level. And I know that I'm going to be able to learn more that's going to help to take even myself to that next level. And while I'm doing that, of course, you guys are here with me. So I will be dragging you right along with me if you follow along, right? So as we go through this first chapter about shutting up, I am going to read this first part because it's easy, it's short. If you feel offended by anything that I'm reading, good, then I'm talking to you. Well, I'm not really talking to you, but Larry's talking to you. I'm just sharing it for you. Don't hang up. Don't disconnect. Listen. All right. I want you guys to listen to this. What? You just told me to shut up? Yes, I sure did. Someone needs to. If you are like most of the people in the world, you are probably talking so much you cannot even hear what is being said. That has been me. My dad always put it this way: you are broadcasting when you ought to be tuned in. In other words, shut your mouth for a minute and pay attention. That has probably been your biggest problem. You were so busy talking, you did not shut up long enough to pay attention. You missed all the important lessons of life. Louise Hay. Most of us are so busy running around creating the soap opera and drama we call our lives that we don't hear anything. In the New Testament, there is a story about Jesus traveling in a fishing boat with his disciples. A big wind comes up, the waves rise, and all of the disciples think they're going to die. Then awakens Jesus from his nap. Whining and crying, he says, "Hush and be still." Mark 4:39 in the King James Version. Then he goes on to talk to them about their faith. But he first has to make the winds, the waves, and the disciples hush. When I was growing up, I was often told to hush. I knew exactly what it meant. In fact, the word hush has been shortened to shh. I bet you didn't know that, did you? See, you're already learning some stuff. When you hear hush or shh, you know it means to be quiet. Actually, I think if these words of Jesus were being translated today, they could just as easily be shut up, be quiet, I'm about to teach you something. That is what I am saying to you here. Shut up, I am about to teach you something. Shut up and listen. It is impossible to listen while you are talking. It just cannot be done. Yet all the good information comes to us only when we are quiet and listening. You cannot learn while you are talking. You can only learn when you are listening. So when was the last time you really got quiet and listened? I mean, really listened. You should try it sometime. You might be amazed at what you hear. And I'm pausing right there while I'm going to say this quote. Jimi Hendrix once said, "Knowledge speaks, but wisdom listens." And the reason why I wanted to read that part, if you guys can be honest and think about a lot of the times when you are in a client's home or when you are dealing with a client or a customer, you're missing the opportunity to serve or to help because you're not listening. You're doing too much talking because you are trying to get out a script or something that you think you need to be saying, because in your mind, you're constantly thinking about, okay, what's my next thing I need to say? What's next, right? And you're not listening. You're not listening to what that client or customer is saying. And so you're missing that opportunity to fill their need, which in turn ends in a sale. It ends in helping them, okay? We have to listen and listen So much so that we're gaining that knowledge. That's the only way this thing is going to work for you in any business, in any relationship. Every relationship is a business transaction and vice versa. You have to listen. We have to get quiet, ask the questions, and listen for what they have to say, because allowing them, your client, your customer, to talk and to get them into the emotion of what's going on, that's when you get them to transition into making a decision, which is then going to help their family, which then helps your family. All right. We have to listen to others. The next topic is talking about listen to others, right? It's talking about your spouse, and it's talking about your children, and how a lot of us don't even take the time to really sit down and listen, tune in to our spouse. Raheem gets on me all the time because he's like, okay, babe, I need you to turn it off and I need you to listen. And I do that to him as well, right? Because we're in business, both of us, and we're always going and we're always thinking and we're always thinking of how can we help the next person, and not so much so that it helps us, but just because that is in our nature. We're both givers. We both care a lot about helping somebody else's success, right? Because that's the role that we're in. That's the role we chose to be in, is to help other people to be successful. And it's just a win when we see and hear about our agents making money, or they, it blows our minds. And it's like, yeah, I helped in that. We know it comes from God, and God has given us the gifts, the ability, the love, the compassion, the patience, right, to deal with other people. But man, it feels good to be able to see them grow and to achieve certain goals that we've helped in that area, right? So that's huge for us. And it blows my mind whenever I hear people that feel as though, your manager, your upline doesn't want you to win. Now, I don't know about other agencies. I don't know about a whole bunch of other managers. Just what I've experienced, that is not the case, because when you win, we win. We're team, we're partners, right? So that's our end goal. And in doing that, we have to be able to listen to you. Sometimes that's hard, and sometimes we need to be told, okay, I need you to really listen to me. And it's okay to do that, right? And with your children in this chapter, it's talking about the average parent doesn't spend 7 minutes a day really sitting and having a conversation with their kids. That's like, wow. But I can see how that could happen, right? Just to think about that for a minute, like what's going on in our households and in our relationships, listening, because what's going on at home is going on in the field. And we really shouldn't listen more to the people outside of our own house, although we know that it does happen. So it's that balancing again that we definitely have to work on. Listen. I'm sorry. For whatever reason, my Facebook stopped. Sorry, guys. Oh, he is so cute. All right. My sister just showed me my nephew. All right. Definitely listening. Going back, I apologize. Listen to those who know more than you do. This is something that is so very important, is listening to those who know more than you. It is something that is very difficult for a lot of people, because they may have been in roles where they were the manager, or they were the ones telling others what they should or shouldn't do because they were the expert in that field. And now you're coming into a different arena. You don't really know everything here. And so you have somebody else that's trying to teach you and talk to you and tell you. And maybe the style is a little bit different, but nonetheless, this is where you need to shut up, right? Stop whining, stop complaining about what or how you think it should be, and get your life. And they're trying to help you to get your life by means of giving you this knowledge and telling you what you should do and giving you tips. We cannot tell you everything, right, as to why this is your own business, and you have to do your due diligence in studying and looking up information and even bringing it back to your manager. We can learn from our partners as well. Just because you're new doesn't mean that we can't learn from you, because you can be like me. I've always been a researcher. I will be on Google all day. I don't have any games on my phone. When I'm on my phone, I am either posting about my business, posting about a client, responding to a client or my business, or I'm researching something always, right? It's very rare that you will see me doing anything outside of something that has to do with my business on my phone. And I'm okay with that. Like, I enjoy doing that. So it's a choice. Listening. Most people think communication is about talking. This is only a small part of it. Listening is the biggest part. We have to become very good, active listeners. We've heard about this. If you read any book with anyone that is successful, anybody that is making any type of money, they're going to tell you that you need to listen more than you are talking, because in sales, you're in the business to fill a need. You cannot fill the need if you don't know what the need is, if you're not asking questions and getting your potential client to start and to open up and talk to you. All right. And when you're listening, you're able to give them some of their information back, right? Like the lady that I sat with the other day, beautiful lady, beautiful lady. And she was telling me about, how her daughter is always putting fear into her. Her mother lives by herself. She's in her 70s. She's 79, right? Beautiful. She didn't look 79 at all. But she lives alone. And her daughter's always telling her, you shouldn't live alone. Somebody's going to kick down your door and they could rape you and kill you out there. And her mother was like, that I know is a spirit from the devil, because that is a spirit of fear. And so her mother is always trying to fight that, right? So as we're going through this conversation and we're talking, somewhere down the road of our conversation, I had brought back up about her daughter, and we were talking about prayer. And I asked her, well, do you pray about your daughter and that spirit of fear? And she said she does all the time. And she said, and I wouldn't mind if you would pray for her too. I brought it back up. That allowed her to know that I was listening. I wasn't just sitting there blank, having that blank stare, like I'm in the room, but outside of the room, I was in the room 1000%, and I was listening. This was my movie. I was all in, right? Period. So I was able to bring back some of the things that she was referencing. And then when we got on a different topic and she brought it back, and I was like, oh yeah, I remember because you said such and such. And she was like, yeah, that drew us together. That was that connection. She didn't need anything that we had. She bought because of me, right? Yeah, her loved one could have used the ID card. Everything was done with it. She's a Catholic, so they have everything already planned out. She had everything paid for. She bought because of the relationship. And then I was like, well, you could leave this extra money for your daughter, being that this and that. She would be shocked, that you even left her anything while she's giving you all this grief. And she says, you know what, that would be a good gift to leave. Absolutely. It's a love gift. It's a love gift. So again, listening, huge. Listen. And then listening to those who know more than you. Tapping in again to your upline, to your managers. Now, if you're new and your upline is new, your manager's new, and they don't know anything, like you don't know anything, then you need to go ahead to the next manager, or pay attention to the people. Like in our agency, we have rings. We always tell our new agents, whenever they go to a meeting, whatever state that they're in, go ahead over and you want to talk to the people that have the rings. You want to make sure that you connect with them because they've been through everything and then some, and they're going to be able to help you. Whereas if you sit here and you get comfortable and you always are sitting next to that person that is in the same boat as you, I mean, how do you plan on, getting any higher? Like you have to tap into the folk that you're not comfortable being around. And those are the successful people, so that you can become successful. You have to. Do what the masters do, and you will become a master. Period. Do what the masters do, and you will become a master. When you're listening to the experts, this is great. Great speakers, teachers philosophers, and books are available on audio tape and compact disc. And many are now even available as e-downloads on your computer via various websites. And of course, we talked about Amazon Prime because you can do your audiobooks and download that. And while we're in the car, which we're going to get into that, you can learn all day. My best teachers have come to me through audio tapes. And the best thing is that it is just so convenient. Through audio tapes and CDs, my mentors show up on my schedule. So when you are ready to learn, you plug it in, you're in the car, you're driving an hour, you should be listening to your audio books, the things that are going to be teaching you what you need to do, changing your mindset. I can listen in my car, on a plane, in my office, or lying by the pool. I heard once that during our lifetime, the amount of time spent in our car is the same amount of time it takes to earn the equivalent of 4 PhD programs. Now, I don't know how much time he spends in his car, but thinking about all the hours I was in my car when I was running up and down to 5 different states, my God, I wonder how many PhDs I could have right now. You can use that windshield time to learn how to do almost anything. Become rich, more successful, a better leader, or a more effective parent. You name it, and I bet there is an audio program available on it. You can even learn how to lose weight by listening to audio tapes. Although the best way to lose weight is to stop putting so much food in your mouth. I have thousands of dollars invested in my audio library, and it is one of the most prized possessions. If you think about Oprah, all she does is read, 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 read. Almost every time she has somebody on her in her master class on one of her programs, she read their book. She's got that book highlighted. She's got different quotes highlighted. She's got tabs in the book, and she is bringing the author on her show to talk about what she learned and what has helped her and even enlightened her, Oprah, right? Even you, right? You see what I'm saying? Even she is still learning and growing every day. We got to think about what we're doing with our time. Listen to yourself. And he put YOUR space self. So not one word, yourself, but yourself. Notice I did not say yourself. I said yourself. I do not mean you should talk to yourself and listen to it, although you do that all the time. I'm talking about listening to your higher self, the better you that knows what you ought to be doing. My sister and I was talking about this in the car. We always know. We hear both sides, the good and the bad. We always know. The better you that knows what you ought to be doing, you might call it your conscience. You might call it your gut. I don't care what you call it. I just want you to listen to it. It is smarter than you. It is tuned in at higher levels than you. It knows. So listen to it. You also might try doing what it says, even though it is uncomfortable. Listen to God. By the way, that higher self I was just talking about, that is God. Really. Some folks are not comfortable thinking they might actually have a direct link to God like that. But you do. The inner voice, the smart one, the one that likes you, knows what to do, and wants the best for you, that one is God. It is in every one of us. The problem is we don't listen to it. We listen to the other voice, the one that is full of doubt, the one that is not of God, the one that is full of fear, that one is you. Sometimes you should not listen. Wait. First you said listen. Now you're telling me not to listen. Make up your mind. So are there really things I should not listen to? Yes. Just like there's a list of things and people you shouldn't listen to. There is also a list of things and people you should not listen to. Do not listen to someone who is broke tell you how to be rich. Do not listen to a fat doctor who smokes tell you what it takes to be healthy. Do not listen to someone tell you how to be successful when they are not. Do not listen to a preacher tell you that you are a worthless sinner. Do not listen to people who talk bad about other people. Do not listen to office gossip. Do not listen to anyone put you down for any reason at any time. Do not listen to yourself when you are talking bad about yourself. This one needs additional explanation. I know. I told you to listen to yourself. That is true. But be very careful when you listen to yourself. No one will ever talk as badly to yourself as you do. Do your best to control that negative self-talk. When you catch yourself saying things like, I could never do that, or I'm not good at that, or I'm so stupid, stop it. And I had to stop. I had to highlight that because I remember saying things like that in my mind all the time. Oh, you're so dumb. Oh, you're crazy. All the time. And I'm like constantly speaking this over my life, right? And I know that power of life and death is in the tongue. And I would constantly, oh my God, you are so retarded. Why am I saying that to myself? I'm not retarded, right? Be careful what we're saying. And sometimes if you're not paying attention to what you are thinking about, this is what we're feeding ourselves all day long. And then we believe it because that's what we're telling ourselves, right? So be careful with that. You have to just stop, regroup, and restate what you should be saying to yourself. And in doing that constantly, your mind will now start to say the positive things. I mean, I don't know how many times I run around the house and tell my husband, your wife is amazing. I am so smart. Dude, you are so blessed. I do it all the time. I'm like, man, I am a beast. I will do something online and I'm like, dude, do you realize how amazing this brain is? God, thank you. Always. I wasn't always like that. Got to change your thinking. I can do this and things that move you closer to the results you want, not further from it. I get it. Some of this is stuff I already know. So far, not much new information here. When do we get to the good stuff? What's next? This is in the book. It says, are you ready for the good stuff? I'm almost there. Stop whining. We all are whiners. We have all whined about something. If there's anybody on here that does not whine, please say post that you do not whine. Better yet, if you are a whiner at times, put a yes on here for me. Give me some thumbs. Let me see if I have some honest people on the line tonight. Are there any whiners in the house? Are there anybody on this line that has ever whined about leads, about driving, about gas, about the prices of the leads, about your manager, your upline? Anybody? Is it just me? All right, I see a couple thumbs over here. Can you do thumbs on YouTube? Maybe you just got to put a like on there. Okay, I see some yeses popping up. All right, let's be honest here. Okay, right. We all have. We whine about the spouses, the kids, the teachers, the people in the car in front of us, the people in the car behind us, on the side of us, right? We all whine. And if we are not paying attention to it, it can take over our lives. It takes over our energy. It shapes what we are doing and our results. Okay, because if you think about it, when you're complaining, you start to feel bad. And it's like, your face get all scrunched up, right? And all this energy that you're giving out, like all around you. If we could actually have a visual of the energy that we give off, would your energy, happy energy, say it's yellow, right? Or blue. And the negative energy is that dark brown. What color energy is going around you the majority of the day? Is it going to be that nice blue? Or is it going to be that dark, nasty brown? Like if we could have that for a day, I would love to just run around town and just look at folk and look at their aura, like what's going around them. And then you could be like, oh, and take a picture. Like, yeah. And matter of fact, take a picture of yourself. What color is your aura? Is it brown or is it blue? Think about that. What are we giving off? Okay, brown or blue? Do you want to be blue or you want to be brown? The choice is yours, whatever you're thinking about. He talks about in this chapter, Jerry Springer and a lot of these other programs where sometimes we get caught up. I don't know how many times I've been in a client's home and they will have one of these channels, one of these programs on, and all you hear is the women screaming and cussing and the men cussing and whose baby is this, and it's all this drama, right? And somehow the show just gets you all the way like plugged into this drama. And you're literally like, are you serious? And I know when I'm watching it, I'm thinking, are you serious? Now, you knew if somebody called you to go on the Jerry Springer, you know it's going to be you fighting, somebody's pregnant, or somebody cheating on you, or something that you don't want to know, right? But people go on the show. It's hilarious. But it's drama. It's a lot of drama. Sometimes people get and watch the shows and they're calling their friends talking about the negativity and the toxicity that they've been watching all day. And now they're just spewing over all this drama. And you wonder what's going on in your world, right? You wonder. He puts in here, the show amazes me. It is about people who will not take responsibility for their circumstances and are on the show just to whine about what is going on. You will see some guy on there who is totally confused by the fact that both his wife and his girlfriend are leaving him. He just can't figure it out how that could happen. Now, I laughed when I read that because I'm like, the wife and the girlfriend, are you serious? Well, let me see. You are fat, you're ugly, and stupid. You have tattoos from head to toe and only have 3 teeth. Get a clue. Very few of us are willing to take responsibility for what is happening in our lives. Why should we? No one is really asking us to. I thought that was pretty deep. We're not talking about being responsible because nobody is really asking us to talk about. People are becoming more and more tolerant of the whiners. And it is so commonplace, we hardly notice it anymore. We become comfortable in it. It's become the norm. It's what we expect. It's almost, if we don't hear it, what's wrong? Something has to be wrong if we don't hear about some kind of complaint throughout the course of the day. He has it in big bold. If you are unhappy, unsuccessful, sick, or broke, please just keep it to yourself. The rest of us do not want or need to hear about it. So do not feel compelled to share. Not me. I notice, and it makes me sick. What I find is the whiners, if you can get them to shut up for a minute and also if you can get them to shut up for a minute, are also sick of whining. They're sick of whining. They are whining to get attention, and they really want someone to grab them and tell them to shut up, stop whining, and get a life. So if you are a whiner, and we all are from time to time, I believe you are sick of it and are ready for things to change. You are sick of not doing well, sick of the failures, sick of being broke, sick of the lousy relationships, sick and tired of being sick and tired, just plain sick of it all. He goes into this letter that a fan sent to him. And I'll read it. It's short. Just to give you an example, all right? The following letter is a prime example of the kind of whining I am talking about. It is a real letter that was sent to me by a fan. I have not changed one word of it. Not the punctuation, not the spelling, and not the whining. Dear Mr. Wingate, I hope you can find time in your busy schedule to read my letter. I am so troubled. I truly wish you can help me. I will try to make this as brief as possible. I am a 36-year-old hairstylist. I am single and my life is so painful. I really do not know how to turn it. My dream in life is to have a successful career doing something I enjoy. But my biggest dream in life is to get married and have a family. And that dream has just been shattered. I met and fell in love with the girl of my dreams. It was heaven sent. We both thought the world of each other, but she decided we were moving too fast and she left me. I am completely devastated and heartbroken. We have both told each other that we were perfect for each other. Now I am alone. My second problem is my career. Throughout my life growing up, I was brought up to be a pro baseball player by my parents. They never taught me the importance of school as long as I could hit home runs. Well, I barely graduated high school. That summer, I had tryouts with 2 professional teams, and I did not make either team. Now I was lost. I had to take my job, any job I could. For years, I always thought I was going to be a star in the major leagues. I never gave any other career a thought. I decided to become a hairstylist. Schooling was only a year and I would have a career. I never really had it in my heart to be a hairstylist. Now, 15 years later, I am miserable. I do not want to be a hairstylist anymore. This depressed me every day. I would love to have a career helping people not end up like me. Help them set goals and help them obtain them. How do I get a career like that? My third problem is that I am in a major financial debt. You think? I just recently filed for bankruptcy and I had a major gambling problem, which is now under control. This is so difficult for me. I feel so trapped. I want to change careers, settle down, and get married. But with my financial problem, I cannot do either. Please, I would greatly appreciate any advice you could share with me. I am heartbroken, broke, and confused. Thank you, sincerely, Joe Bob Weiner. Now, that's not his real name, but that's the name that he put down there. So parking it right there. How many of you guys can relate to this story of this young man where he is completely lost, unhappy, and does not know where to go? Can we get some yeses, some likes, some hearts, some thumbs downs? Let me see if you guys are awake with me. Where are you at? Can you understand where this 36-year-old is coming from? I see a couple yeses on my YouTube. Are you guys awake? I need to clap. Wake up, wake up, wake up. All right, I see some angries, some O's. I see some smiles, some thumbs up. Okay, so you guys are still with me. I think we all can relate to this story. I think we all, probably the majority of individuals, have been in the same situation, right? Something very similar. This is what Larry wrote back. Well, this is what his comment is next. Are you sick yet? It is any wonder his girlfriend left him. When I read this letter, I nearly threw up. Want to know what my advice was? Shut up, stop whining, and get a life. I wrote this guy back and told him I had never read such a pitiful pile of drivel in my life. My sister and I was cracking up in the car rereading that. But he said, I told him that he was sickening to himself and to everyone around him, and now to me. I asked, how could he be surprised by his crummy life when his outlook on life was so crummy? Then I went on to explain in detail what was wrong and what he could do to fix his life. I gave him the condensed version of this book. We are actually getting the whole version, and you if you buy the book, but I have it. But the message is the same. By the way, about 6 weeks later, the guy wrote me another letter thanking me for being the only person who ever told him to quit whining and get on with his life. The other responses he received were nice and commiserated with him about how sad it all was. He said my response had changed his direction and he was making major improvements. However, the really sad thing is that this letter is pretty typical of what is going on in our society as a whole. Again, we complain, we're talking about what we're going through, what we're experiencing, and the other person on the other line is going through the same thing. And so we are just constantly going back and forth, talking about the drama, what we didn't know, what we didn't learn, why don't we know this, why we are where we are, and what can we do? And instead of taking all of that, understanding what has taken place, and knowing that we can change our future. We can change our right now by changing the narrative. Research, learn, study. Everything is almost free. It's for the taking, right? Online. But now that you know, and when you learn, what are you going to do with that information? It's not enough to just learn it. It's not enough to hear it. It's not enough to read it. You have to apply it. You have to apply it. The next chapter is talking about is everyone's fault but mine. We are not going to get into that because we are already at 9 o'clock. We're actually at 9:06. Winston Churchill, if you are going through hell, keep going. You have to keep going. You need to clean up your own mess, fix your own problem, admit you are an idiot, and commit to doing better next time. Stop fixing the blame and start fixing the problem. I'll be honest. Raheem says that to me sometimes when I'm still talking about a problem that is going on, and he's like, "Listen, I'm on fix it solution mode. Let's forget about that. Okay, let's just forget about it and move on to solution." And that's the fast way to just get off of the negative, get out of the brown ring, and get back into blue. Right? Okay. Yeah. Because it doesn't even matter. Let's just fix it. And sometimes we have to, not sometimes, we always have to have people around us that are willing to be honest and tell us, listen, you're wrong. Or, okay, we already know what the problem is. Now we need to fix it. So let's get over here and put more energy into fixing it, right? So make sure you are connecting with those people that are on that path or that may have already crossed over. Let them pull you up. Let them grab you and be willing. Sometimes it's uncomfortable. It's like, what do you mean? I'm trying to tell you, want to get out what you want to say, but it's already been said. Move on. Fix it mode, right? We got to clean up our own mess. Whining prolongs the problem. As long as you continue to whine about what is wrong with your life, there will be no room for anything good to come into your life. That is just the way life works. You cannot focus on the solution when you are whining about the problem. You cannot do two things at once. Pick one. Pick the one that moves you closer to where you want to be in life and do it. And I'm going to end that part right there and do it. It is not easy, but it is worth it. It is not easy, but it is worth it. It is not easy, but it is worth it. Why is it hard? Because of our thoughts. It is hard because of our thoughts. Werner Erhard, I probably said it wrong, but I'll post it later. The truth will set you free, but first it will piss you off. The truth will set you free, but first it will piss you off. And Buddha, all human unhappiness comes from not facing reality squarely, exactly as it is. We don't want to see it. We don't want to deal with it. We don't want to believe it is what it is. But until we do, until we look at these things head on, until we shut up, we stop whining, and we get a life, we're not going to be able to move forward. We're always going to be, how do people say it? 2 steps forward, 3 steps back, 2 steps forward, 3 steps back. We're in control of that. We're in control of that. That is it for that section, right? It's a little bit after 9. I'm going to park it real quick. Do we have any comments, any questions? The last thing I wanted to add into this is from a conversation I had with one of the agents earlier this week about leads and the cost of leads. It's a 5-minute little ad that I want to add to the end of this, but I definitely want to ask, as I take a sip of water, because I've been talking all day. I was able to bless 3 people today. That was so awesome. And run around with the family. Any questions or comments? And I know there's a little delay on both ends, so I'm waiting for you guys for 30 seconds. Going once, going twice. No judgment zone. You can ask whatever you want, new or old. I'm going to give Eric some more music if it comes back on. Thank you, Terry. Appreciate that. All right. All right. So she said, beautiful background. Listen, you should have seen me running in here. All right. So leads, real quick. And I'm going to use this pen. I'm going to write something down just to keep my mind. New agents and old agents. Some old agents still do this. All right. So I'm writing on this piece of paper. You're welcome, Randy. Monday, just for me, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. All right. Just so that I can have a visual. I'm very visual, but I need this in front of me. So today is Monday. It's not really, but we're going to act like today is Monday. All right. So Monday is typically the day that a lot of people order leads. Some people order their leads on Friday, but for this example, we are going to say Monday we order leads. All right. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. All right. So again, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we are able to order leads with our team. It's Monday. You woke up and you're looking at your reports and you see that you have a chargeback and a lead balance that comes to $500. All right. You know that on Thursday, you have, we're going to make it a $1,500 advance due to be paid out. All right. So make sure you guys are following me. Monday, you have chargebacks and leads that total $500. You also are looking at your production report, and you know that on Thursday, you are to be advanced $1,500. All right. Now, with the majority of Lincoln Heritage agents, Lincoln will take 50% of your advances to pay any debts or whatever the amount is. Okay. So in this example, half of $101,500 is $750. You only owed $500. So you know that guess what? On Thursday, I'm due to get paid $1,000. That's going to clear my debt. And you're wondering, should I order leads? And you're sitting there, you're looking at the lead list. You know that there are 15 leads in your area on Monday. But you're telling yourself, don't order the leads. Because if you order more leads, say you order the 15 leads and they're, I don't know, $35. That's going to add another $525 to your balance, which means that on Thursday, instead of getting the 1,000, now you're going to get 750, and you need that $1,000 to pay a bill. Right? You guys following me? Most people will decide not to order their leads until Friday because they are waiting for that deposit. That is the wrong thought process, and I'm going to tell you why. I've done it a million times. I've seen other agents do it a million times. There are no guarantees in anything other than the activity that you put out there, and you make it happen. It won't happen unless you make it happen. But if you're sitting there and you are sitting waiting for Thursday, and really you're waiting till Thursday night to have your advance paid out, so you're not going to order leads until Friday, you have 5 days that you didn't work waiting for that $1,000. God forbid Thursday comes, and instead of you getting your advance deposit email showing that you received $750, you get a service report instead. And now you didn't order those leads. You thought you were getting the $1,000. Now you're not getting anything. You still have a $500 lead and chargeback balance and no money. Friday morning comes and your 15 leads are gone because somebody else decided to go to work. What are you going to do? I know you can't answer me. Doesn't matter. You're going to be stressed out, crazy. This doesn't work. Oh my God, what happened? Or it does pay out, but you get hit with a chargeback Thursday too. So you still don't get the $1,000 and you still only get $750. What if you went ahead and ordered those leads on Monday and took your butt to work? And instead of counting money on a production report that may or may not pay out, you should never count any money until it is deposited in your bank. That is when you count that money. Stop looking at your chargeback balances. Stop looking at your lead balance. That is the cost of doing business. If you ran your own business, you would pay for your flyers. You would pay for your office. You would pay for lights and gas. You would pay for a merchant account to take your payments. You would be paying for leads to be dropped in the area, whether you get all of them back or not. We have a small amount of money that we have to pay in to run this business. Stop sitting still, waiting for something to pay out, and go and write 3, 4, 5, 6 more deals before Thursday. And instead of getting that 1,000, you might end up getting 3,000 paid out. I want you to think about that real hard. Real hard. All right. So any comments on that? I wanted to add that in. This was something that we just talked about. An agent and I talked about that the other day. And I wanted to bring that up because we have to stop thinking about these small balances. Your manager is looking at your balances. They will let you know when you get too close. They will let you know when you get that batch, and they're going to tell you, listen, you need to convert these leads. You need to get referrals. You should be doing that anyway. They're going to keep you on board and on track with that. Do not worry about that. Go to work, get the leads, do the activity, talk to the people in the house, ask for referrals, and repeat. Wash and repeat, wash and repeat. All right. It is September 19th. Those of you guys that are with Lincoln Heritage, our last day of the month is on Monday. So we actually have a full month. Monday is the 30th, the last day of the month. If you are doing initial withdrawals, the last day that you can accept an initial withdrawals on the 25th of the month. So that is the last day that you can take a paper app would be on that Wednesday before the cutoff time, whatever time zone you're in. And then Monday is the last day you can take a secure app. So you can take secure apps good to go all the way up until the last day of the month. Side note, and thank you, Paul Chambers, for letting everybody know this months ago. With the iPad, on Friday, the 27th of September, you will be able to key in post-dated apps for October up to October 3rd. So on the 27th, after 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so after your cutoff time, you could key in any application that is post-dated for October 1st, October 2nd, or October 3rd. You will get paid for that on Monday. It will count. Your production will count for September. Lincoln will not take the payment out of your client's account until the 1st, 2nd, or 3rd, whatever date it is. But if you have contests that you are running for, if you need to get paid, which we all like to get paid the same day, that is like a little loophole that you could do on the Friday after 6 p.m. and all day Monday. You can do good to goes and you can do post-dated apps, and they will count for the month of September. Guys, get with your upline, get with your team managers. Make sure you know what your team goal is as far as production. Be a team player. Comment on your groups. Send messages to your upline. Let them know that you are there, you do care, and that you want to help out the team, right? Because one day it may be you. You may be the team leader. You may be the one that wants to have an agency, and you're going to want your team to play a part and be a part of the overall goal of the agency. You're going to want that, so give it back. When you celebrate others, when it's time for you to be celebrated, you are going to receive that in return. Come on, guys. We are partners in business. If you can't get up and go to work for your own goals and your own dreams, get up and go to work to help your manager or your team leader. Do it for somebody else. And in turn, you're going to win too. I promise you, you're going to win. So let's stop whining. Let's shut up, stop whining, and let's go get this life. because it is a life worth living. And with that, I'm done. Any comments, any questions? I have time for you. Anything else? Terry asked me if this video is recorded. Yes, it is. It is recorded on the YouTube. I will post the full YouTube on Facebook because I do understand that it cut off on the Facebook side. I don't know why, but I will post the YouTube copy because that one is still being recorded. It is being recorded. The book is, I'm going to type it in for you guys and you can look at it real quick. It is Shut Up, Get a Life. Shut up, stop whining, and get a life. Larry Winget. All right, I'm going to put that in the Facebook also. All right, and it is an awesome, easy, very easy read. Your stomach might hurt a few times going through it because it is very true to life. There was a lot of information in there where I was just like, oh, he is talking to me, and that is not comfortable. I am reading it again because sometimes we fall back, we fall short, we get into these bad habits again, and it is constant. You have to consistently renew the mind, right? The word tells us that it is something we have to do all the time. And so it is definitely important to stay renewed, to keep being renewed, to keep adding to your knowledge, to your information, and all that good stuff, Nancy, you could send me a text message on this number and I will respond to you on tomorrow because I'm done for the evening. My voice is shot, but definitely you can text me on that number right there. I will also post my email. All right, that's one of them, my ones that I use for my sessions. All right, lifenow@gmail. Oh no, don't do life now. I'm sorry. Let me put that one here, not that one. It's 412-lifenow@gmail. All right, so it's 412-lifenow@gmail.com. What do you say if the client tells you that they have no money? Thank you, Anita. What do I say when a client tells me they don't have any money? Well, that really depends on when they're telling me they don't have any money. So if I'm at the door and I'm knocking on the door and they come to the door and they say, oh, well, you know what? I really don't have any money. I said, well, you know what? That's okay. You don't need any money today. It takes about 10 to 15 minutes for me to go over this information. Was it just for you or you and another loved one? I'm bypassing it. If I'm in the house and they're constantly, throughout the presentation trying to ask me, oh, well, how much is this going to cost? Because I really don't have any money, blah, blah, blah. I tell them, you know what, don't even worry about that right now. I want you to really understand how the benefit works. And we're going to get to that at the end because we customize the benefit to make sure that it fits your budget and your need. We get to the very end and I show them the quotes. And that is when they're telling me that they really don't have any money. I say, okay, that's all right. Most of my clients get paid the first, the third Wednesday, or the fourth Thursday. Which one is it for you? Usually they're going to tell me then, oh, well, you know what? I get paid on the third. Okay, no problem. We can go ahead and get this set up for you on the third. Which one of these benefits would you like to get started with? If they still say, oh, well, I really need to think about it. It is the price. Just don't ask them, is it the price? It's the price. Take your quote sheet or whatever you're using. Give them 2 more, 3 more quotes that are lower than the lowest one that you have on your paper or your iPad and turn it around and show them, it is definitely better to have some cash that is available immediately for your family than none at all. Which one of those would be better? Sorry, my back is starting to hurt. Which one of those would better fit your current situation? And remember, you can always increase later when your situation changes. So that's pretty much what I would say in those 3 different scenarios. All right. Hopefully that helps you. That is what I say. I don't know how many times somebody has told me they didn't have any money. And at the end of the presentation, I ended up with an $82, $63, $54 app, right? Sometimes they think it's going to be $300, $400 because they've seen some of the rates that have come in through the mail that started at 10,000 or 20,000 or 30,000. And we can kind of customize and give lower quotes. So whenever we're able to show, you're just doing cremation, we can do a $5,000 or $2,500 quote that changes their tone a little bit. So hopefully that helps you. All right, where we at? We have 4 minutes. Any other questions? Any other comments you would like me to attack before I shut you guys down and get some rest, y'all? I have been running. I just got a text message from one of my clients. Yes, I do send text messages to these leads. When they do not answer, I will send a text message. I just got one back, and the lady told me that she's been with her mother, who is very ill, all day, and she will give me a call back on tomorrow. Utilize social media. That is something else that I will be sending an email out to everybody on tomorrow. I am busted tonight. I cannot do it this evening, but it is the send out cards, a copy of an example of a card that I created in the template that I send out to my clients. That way it keeps me in front of them. So I'm not always having to go and door knock them. I send out postcards, and I will make sure that you guys get that on tomorrow. It is on my list. I will not forget. My beautiful Kimberly, who reminded me today via text message. Guys, utilize technology. It works. There's another app that I use, and I'll put it in the email tomorrow. Some of you guys are on, and again, if you guys on my YouTube, if you did not text 22828 Life Now, and you're not on my email list, you are not receiving the email tips and scripts and things that I email out. So there's no way for me to get that to you guys. So when I'm saying, I will email this out, if you're not getting an email, that means you are not on my email list. So you need to get on that email list. And I will, let me put that on here now on my email. And I do not spam you. I don't have time for that at all. But I do send out reminders of the calls and different worksheets. So you can text 22828. You're going to text the words, capital letters, Life Now, right? You're going to text Life Now to the number 22828. All right. That is a text message. When you text 22828 Life Now, it's going to ask you to send me your email address. It adds you to my email list. And that way, whenever I'm sending out emails, I send it out to everybody. Just an easy way for us to stay connected. And that's it. I'm out. Love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Next week, oh my goodness, I swear these weeks are getting better and better. I know they're getting better and better for me. Are they getting better and better for you guys? Are you enjoying these weekly training sessions? Let me know before I go and rest my little mind. Are you guys enjoying these sessions? Give me some thumbs out. Give energy back. Can I get some amen? Some yes. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Christine. Listen, because I was running for you guys. I was running on this highway to get back to you guys. I said, I will not cancel this class tonight. I will not. All right. So I appreciate you guys. I appreciate that you appreciate me as well. That is always wonderful. And I need to know that you guys are gaining some knowledge from this. I definitely get the emails, guys. Thank you for sending me the personal emails. My sister's dancing. Sending me the personal emails. Definitely is awesome. I love those. I actually print them out. I'm thinking of creating like a little book because You know, it's sad that when somebody dies, that everybody posts about, you know, how wonderful they were and how much they've helped them and all of these wonderful and powerful things that they have felt from that person. And it's like, tell me now. Tell me when I can read them. Tell me when I can actually sit there and cry to know that I've been able to help somebody out there with just something, a trial or tribulation that I have gone through, that I'm able to share it with somebody else and help you guys. Tell me why I am alive. I want to know right now. So thank you for the emails, guys. Thank you for the text messages. And now I am done. I am hanging this baby up until next week. I will be doing another video throughout the week because there's something else that I want to share with you guys. I'm sorry. The very last thing, if in fact, I swear it's the last thing, if you are a Lincoln Heritage agent, please make sure that you email me. My students, you all have the email address. You need to send it back and let me know that you are a Lincoln agent or not, because we have the approved letters and training for our business. There's a separate section for you guys. So if you want in on that, email me. All right, email me. I sent you guys an email out last week. Only got a couple responses back. I'm not sending that email out to everybody because if you're not with Lincoln Heritage, it does not pertain to you, and I do not spam email folks. So now I'm done. I'm ending it right now. Peace.